Defunct isn't the right word, but maybe demoted. This is one of the weirdest properties in the National Park Service, and it's only like 15 miles away from Joe Exotic's zoo. Alright, well, hello from outside Amarillo. By the way, welcome back to the plains, where it seems like there's nothing to do, but it always seems like we find the weirdest stuff here, so... Have you guessed yet? We're going to Oklahoma.
Right.
Your destination is on the right.
Exotic. Is it closed?
It might be. Tiger Park.
I wouldn't mess around too much here. Honestly.
No longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Okay.
We're sorry, you have reached a number.
Google
By
Maps
the way,
still shows
this is
it.
Joe Exotic Zoo.
Yeah.
We are 1 week late. They literally closed a week ago.
Wow. That sucks.
Is that a disappointment for Oklahoma?
Probably.
Yeah. Defunct isn't the right word, but maybe demoted.
Yeah, I think
This
demoted is
is-
a good word.
This is one of the weirdest properties in the National Park Service, and it's only like 15 miles away from Joe Exotic's zoo. It's called Chickasaw National Recreation Area, but it actually used to be called Platt National Park, but then it got demoted to being something else. This area, Chickasaw National Recreation Area, became a national park, and it was the 7th national park in something like 1906 or 1907. And they were trying to protect some natural springs. The weird thing is, it is a super tiny park, and it stayed a national park in Oklahoma until the 1970s, when it was incorporated into a larger park that included a reservoir, and now it's a national recreation area. 32 springs.
That's what they're trying to protect, was 32 springs.
There is this kind of weird thing that it's like a hybrid, really, really old school park that predates many of the other really big natural parks. It doesn't really look like a national park. It, you know, like I said, it looks kind of like a city park, but it has all the bones of a national park. You know, it has hiking trails between all the different parts of kind of what looked like a city park, right? You know,
Yeah.
like that? Like 1 mile to go see the bison in a pen, right? Someone's house out there.
Yeah. It's a business or something as long. Unless there's apartments.
It really does look like a city park.
Looks like almost someone's house right there. But yeah, it does have the feeling of a city park. This is pretty unique. I mean, it's like you were saying before, it's kind of a weird thing of what it was a national park like this, but definitely a very, very cool place to explore.
Part of what's kind of weird about the park is that it's so old that it really predates the idea of what conservation really is in the national park system. And because of that, when they preserved the springs, they really did that by landscaping the whole area. Here it's like natural spring, landscape spring, right? So the park, as a national park, was set up to protect these springs. But you'll also see there's a lot of like developed WPA, CCC, 1930s architecture around it that really kind of contributes to that city park feel as opposed to preserving something in its natural state, you know?
All right, so now we're at the Bison Enclosure, which is another abnormality because they're preserving springs. So let's just throw some barbed wire fence up to have a herd of bison. So after seeing like Theodore Roosevelt National Park and Custer State Park where they're just roaming around, it's kind of funny. It's like, hey, here's a little pen where we also penned up fountains that'll have you enjoy them, which they honestly made the pen a little too big because all I see so far are deer. But still cool, but just odd.
It is very reminiscent of like all of those city parks, like in every single town in America that had like a bear in a cage, you know?
Yeah.
Back in the 20s or whatever. So, random observation, we've seen the same people like 5 times because they're on hiking loops doing like figure eights around the whole park.
Yeah.
It's usually like if you see someone at the trailhead, you don't see them till the end of the day. But
Yeah.
we've seen them 3 times because they keep doing the same, you know.
Yeah.
And there's not very far to go.
What's that?
Everything is landscaped.
Yeah. Cool, it's actually natural other than this bench right here.
So not to kind of downplay this park, because honestly it's less weird and kind of cooler than I thought it would be, but you can tell that the National Park Service has tried to like pump some juice into it a few times. You know, the architecture is really pretty impressive for a little park like this, and then they ultimately had to convert it into something else in the 70s, you know, just because it was such a micro park with nothing really to preserve. Hey everybody, good morning from Blue River, Oklahoma. This is about an hour away from Chickasaw National Recreation Area. Chickasaw for me, as small and as peculiar and as less natural as it is, was really fascinating to me from a historical standpoint because of what it seems to contribute to the national park idea. And I think that as bizarre as that was, we're gearing up for what is surely going to be the weirdest national park experience that we will have so far. So, see you next time in Arkansas. Well, it might not really look like it, but believe it or not, we're driving into a national park. By any measure, regardless, Hot Springs National Park is probably the weirdest of any national park in the United States.
Yeah.